Alright, question 8. Quadrilateral ABCD has vertices at A, -1, -1, B, -3, 0, and C, 0, 6, and D, 2, 5. Which statements are true about quadrilateral ABCD? B is quadrilateral ABCD a rectangle? Why or why not? Select all correct answer choices for question A. Select one answer choice that correctly answers both questions labeled B. Okay, so this is exactly like the last question. Excuse me. So we're going to be doing that the same way. So I'm going to be copying these points again so that I can keep track of the coordinates while I use my slope formula calculator. And then we have side lengths. I'm just going to start right here. Side lengths AB, side length BC, side length CD, and side length DA. Then we're going to want to know what the slope is for each one. So with that in mind, here we go. So we have our slope formula calculator by Math Warehouse. Again, use resources that can maximize your time. Here's the slope equation, and it'll show you exactly how to step through it. So again, point A is located at -1, -1. Point B is located at -3, 0. So calculate that. That's 1 over -2, which is just -1/2. Doesn't matter where that negative symbol is attached to. So point B is already located in there. So segment BC slope, I'm going to just put point C's coordinates in, 0, 6. It is at 2, and I'm going to remember that a whole number can be written as a fraction over 1, so that's 2 over 1. Just when I'm checking to see if we have perpendicular lines that I can easily see reciprocals. So then point C is already in, point D is at 2, 5. So calculate that. It's at -1/2. Alright, so segment DA slope, point D is already in. So point A is at -1, -1. Calculate, this is at 2. So again, any whole number can be written as a fraction over 1. So I'm going to do that so that when we check for reciprocals, it's much quicker for me. So again, opposite sides in rectangles will have the same slope because that makes them parallel, and adjacent sides will have opposite signs and reciprocal slopes so that this angle will be a right angle. So AB is going to be -1/2. BC is 2 over 1, so I'm already noticing that these adjacent sides have opposite signs and they are reciprocals. Okay, so then segment CD, so that means this angle right here is 90 degrees. So then segment CD's slope was -1/2. So again, these adjacent sides, segment BC and segment CD, have opposite signs for their slopes, and they are reciprocals, which means it looks like they were flipped on their heads of each other. So that means this angle right here is 90 degrees, and segment DA has a slope of 2 over 1. So segment CD and the adjacent side of segment DA, their slopes are opposite in signs and they are reciprocals. So again, that means this angle is 90. Last one to check is segment DA and segment AB. Their slopes have opposite signs and they are reciprocals, which is 1/2 and 2 over 1. So that angle right there is 90 degrees as well, since those two segments are perpendicular. So now the next thing we're going to check is that opposite sides are parallel, which in the last lesson we learned that that means that they would have this same slope. So segment BC's opposite side would be segment DA, and they are parallel. And segment BA has a slope of -1/2 and its opposite side has a slope of -1/2, so those two sides are parallel as well. So yes, it is a rectangle based off of what it's wanting. So now I'm just going to be going through and answering for question A. The slope of segment BC is 2. Yes. Slope of DA is 2. Yes. The slope of AB is -1/2. Yes. And the slope of, I'm looking for CD, is -1/2. Okay, so now I'm looking for a yes option. The quadrilateral has two pairs of opposite sides that are parallel, and all of its interior angles are right angles. Yes, that is correct. Another thing that I just thought of, instead of using the slope formula calculator, is you could count it. So this rise is 2, 4, 6 over 3. So you could count it and figure it out by counting it if you didn't want it. So 6 divided by 3 does reduce down to 2 over 1. So you could do it that way if you wanted to count and just use the graph. It's completely your option. I just had the slope formula calculator up, so it was quick for me to use that.